Tellez not playing weekend. Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to practice; it's another one to play against teams next to each other.
I completely agree with that.
And not only that, but he did it in the midfield too. He did it in the midfield as well with Matic because it's been proven. There's stats all over the place that you cannot win a game with our team without either McTominay or Fred in the midfield. It doesn't happen. It's weird. It's fucking crazy, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
I do think Fred needs to start beside Pogba.
And I don't think Fred and Matic can play together. That's the thing. If you're going to play, So
if you're playing Fred and Matic, then
it's got to be Fred and Pogba or McTominay and Matic.
Yeah.
And then you can't McTominay and Pogba can play together too. But our midfield combinations are weird. And I don't think Matic should even be in the midfield now. I think he should be playing center back if we play a 3-back.
Oh, dude, that would be so sick.
That's what. Yeah, and he was doing that too because it was.
He kept. Did you see him? Did you see him? He kept telling Tellez and Wan-Bissaka get up in the wide.
20 minutes in, he kept asking for the ball from the midfield, and then eventually he was like, "Fuck it, I'm playing center back," and he would drop in between Tuanzebe and Maguire throughout the rest of the game because that's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
If that player, he's an anchor midfielder. With anchor midfielders, you stay the fuck back, you don't get forward, and you cover your defenders. And especially if you've got Maguire trying to step up and play CDM, let him. You play center back. You're 6'3", you can play center back.
Fernandinho is like the prime example of that.
Yeah.
Whenever one of the wingbacks goes up. Although Busquets really, when Barcelona were in their prime, Busquets he just had to sit in front. He didn't even really
That's
have
all
the
Matic should be doing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because he's slow on the turn. He even takes forever to pass. He waits until his last chance and then squeaks it off half the time.
I think he's our most composed midfielder on the ball, though.
Absolutely,
I think if we're trying to get out of a press, he's the player that you have to play.
Because he can hold on to it, but he's not quick on the counter though. He's slow on the turn. I don't think I've seen him ping a long pass all year. He just lays it off.
He does this, and this is my thing with Shaw. Shaw has a very good pass percentage, but about 80% of his passes are backwards to Maguire, which maybe that's because he doesn't have anything forward. But over the past couple of weeks, I will say Shaw has been our most consistent player when it comes to like overall performance, and he has been getting forward and fucking finally, thank God, right? But before that, Shaw, every time we were on a fast break or something, he was the reason why it slowed down. Every time he would get the ball and he would slow it down and he'd let their defense get back.
He used to invert a lot too, which I didn't like.
Every single time. And then he'd get the ball, and when the space was finally closed, he'd turn back and go back to Maguire.
Did you see, it was the beginning of this year, and it was against Villa, and this is exactly what he would invert. He would come into the corner of the box and try and shoot cross space. And just now lately, I'm guessing he's fitter now. He's finally overlapping. Yeah. But the problem, and this is why he's passing back to Maguire, is that
there's no much movement.
When there are, Martial and Rashford use him as a decoy to cut inside.
Yeah.
Or take that channel that the fullback followed him on. They're not giving him the through pass, and if they do, it's 50% of the time. So that if he does get it, because when he does get it, that's when Martial or Rashford see they don't have an option. They peel back around and pass back outside to Shaw. Yeah. When Shaw doesn't have an option because the overlap's gone, that's when he passes back to Maguire.
Yeah.
So a lot of our issues with connection up top are Rashford and Martial making the wrong calls throughout this entire season.
Yeah.
Right now, what I'm seeing is Martial is a better shadow striker, and Rashford can only run off the shoulder. He's not taking people on anymore. He's not crossing the ball. Yeah. He from right mid though, he's crossing. That one ball he had to Pogba against Burnley was gorgeous. Yeah. Where he stopped it, he was on the right side of the box, and he just did a little dink chip, and it was perfect.
Remember last year, I was telling you that Rashford was taking people on until he got injured, right? Mm-hmm. Then there was lockdown. Then he came back, and then he stopped taking people on, but he started trying to like cross balls in and make those those playmaking roles from like the wing.
Yeah, which all he's doing now is bringing people to him and then laying it off.
And now he's not like when he made the assist to Greenwood against Liverpool in the FA Cup. That was like the first time
Greenwood assisted him,
or he assisted Greenwood in the first half. First half, Rashford assisted Greenwood, then Greenwood assisted him. Rashford played the ball from the left up over Milner, and then Greenwood chested it down, and then Robertson was coming behind Greenwood and yelling at him to try and...
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But, yeah, it's... I think that the starting three, I think, has to be Cavani...
Martial and Greenwood. That's who I'd start right now. Pogba makes up for the lack of effort on the left-hand side with Martial, and Bruno can feed Greenwood on the right.
The thing is, I think you start Rashford over Martial because at least Rashford you have a way better chance of him getting a goal or an assist than Martial this season anyway.
Yeah.
But like you said, like if there is more competition, like I think United just got so lucky with what happened with this Sancho situation that he had a terrible start to this season because now Dortmund are in such a hole because they were expecting Sancho to leave in last summer for 120 million, right? And because Ed Woodward was being an asshole and not doing it by the date that
so is he
was
a genius
set,
now?
I think he got so lucky with this because now Dortmund are like, we have to sell some players, and so Sancho is going to be leaving, and he's not going to be leaving for 120 million.
Do you think Ed Woodward was sitting there,
dude? I don't want to think anything positive about Ed Woodward.
And Ed Woodward was like, they won't fucking last a year. They're going to have to sell half their team. And do you think he was playing 4D chess a year ago?
Dude, I honestly don't think he's that smart. That's smart to be able to do that. I really don't. But if he was, credit to him.
Did you see that Roma was trying to give us Dzeko for free?
Yeah.
Is that kind of embarrassing to you?
I mean,
that we're the place to go. We're the free agent hub.
Well, it's because everyone knows that United need a number 9 striker, which really we don't because we have Cavani. It's just the fact that he's older and
I love that he worked out too. I love that he worked out. He looks good with us.
Yeah, I think because he's older and he didn't play that many games when he came to United, that's why he hasn't played as much. But I think this second half of the season, you're going to see him playing in like the Premier League a lot more. If Ali against Sociedad, if he plays anyone of importance in the first team against Sociedad, I'm going to be very disappointed. I would just say F that and play that. But the one thing is, it's about money, and they're going to have to try and get further in that competition. So they're going to have to play their bigger players.
I would do. Dude, yes, but like you play the right ones, and this is where it's going to be tricky because the rotation's going to. How I was talking about the rotation a minute ago, where you got to have 3 mainstays, you got to focus on which tournament you want to win in. So obviously, it would be nice to kind of half-ass the Europa and come away with something.
Yeah,
even make it to the final, which would kind of look bad for him because that's how many semifinals he's been to and been knocked out. But Ollie, but it would have to mean. Which you'd have to play Brandon more. You'd have to play Tella. I would play Tellez the entire time in Europa.
Brandon definitely plays on the right. Tellez. Yeah. Van de Beek.
Van de Beek plays the entire time. It doesn't come out.
I play Greenwood.
Yeah.
I play Diallo.
The thing is, the team that we would fill with Europa can compete. And I think James could do well on the left-hand side, just getting game time. Because he does need to play. He should have played against Sheffield. I think players like that do need to be playing against.
See, the reason why I would say I think
they have one of the slowest back lines in the league.
I know, but we knew that they were going to sit deep. So
Mata should have played as well.
No point
Mata should have been in the middle, though. That's the thing. Mata's not a winger.
Yeah,
it's ignorant to play him out there. And Bruno could. I know he wants to play every week, but what happened last week when we subbed him on, then we won.
Yeah.
So it's give him a break, give him minutes. But if he's your sub at the moment and he's performing as a sub, just keep running him as a sub for the time being. I understand that he's going to have to start against your Chelseas, against your Liverpools, against your whatever. But you don't want to expend the guy on the bottom of the table team. And if he does need to come in the last 30, so be it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Van de Beek should have played. Van de Beek plays well with Juan Mata. You put those two somewhere together on the pitch.
Imagine if we had like a true full center defensive mid, and you played. I know you can't Mata should be in the middle, but if you played Mata off the right and you put Van de Beek and Bruno in there along with Cavani up top, dude, that would be the most intricate play for a goal ever.
Because if we don't have speed on the right, why not? Why are we pretending?
Yeah,
let's put somebody technical out there to work around and run corners.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I for Europa League, I think United definitely need to use it as Maguire's going to start every game that he's fit. That's already been said. So he's going to play in every game. So if you're playing in Europa League, I mean, you may as well just give it to Tuanzebe and just say this is and Henderson and say this is your guys' tournament from now on. Just good luck. Hope you do well. And then you put Brandon and Telles on the left and get them reps. Telles, I think though, a major thing that's holding him back from playing more as well. And like, because Shaw,
he's not defensively like
not, but he also had coronavirus. So he's probably like it took like look at Pogba when he came back from coronavirus. He was dog shit for a couple months.
Yeah.
So now Telles is just now getting to the point where it's like, okay, now because all he said when he brought Pogba back was I rushed him in way too quickly after coronavirus, right? So now I think he's trying to do the opposite with Telles, to try and keep holding him off as long as possible to make sure that he's going to be fully fit.
Sure.
Because I mean, I thought he was awful defensively against Sheffield.
Hey, he's playing like a left mid.
Yeah, and I don't think he did much offensively because I don't think he could because they sat someone on him the whole time. But
I think Telles would be a cool defensive mid.
Yeah, I just don't. With how poor he is defensively, I don't think you could risk that.
Oh yeah, true.
But
with Tuchel, and this is
dude, I don't know if I'm worried about Chelsea because Tuchel, like I saw that video that Juan put in the group me of Chelsea's like
he looked more interactive than
it looked more interactive, but it's also like it's freaking training. Like every team does that. Like it's not different because it's Tuchel.
Well, I was looking through the comments, and a lot of people were saying that like Lampard's trainings were like fucking like he was on his way out.
Abysmal, yeah.
Yeah. But, so I mean, I'm sure they're just excited about a coach wanting to coach.
But I'm sure Lampard was like that at the beginning. I think by the end of it, Lampard was just kind of like ran out of ideas because he's like, what else can I do? But and that's on him because obviously he didn't. And there was no point in him being Chelsea manager if they weren't going to give him letting him have the 5 years. Like this whole year and a half that he's been there has literally been 0 point in him being there.
And it's not like he did any worse than the past 5 managers on average.
Yeah.
On average, you know what I mean. And he's your only club legend. He and Terry. Like that's you can say Zola, but half I don't even know half Chelsea fans know who he is.
No, they don't.
So it's a little embarrassing, I think, and it's not that he. I think he still would have finished in and around Europa League, which for even as well as he did last year for a second-year manager.
I think they would have got 4th place.
Yeah, I mean they obviously have the utilities for a top 4 finish, but like you said, I think he went a little like Mad King, and I think he was trying to. I've said this. I think he was trying to. He had an obsession with an idea of his that he thought would work. Playing 2 10s with Conte behind it was never going to happen.
Yeah, because
you're unbalanced and you don't have the back line to do it. Especially if you want to play 2 10s and flying wingers, that's suicide. That's 3 people to defend for you.
And your 3 defenders are Thiago Silva, Kurt Zouma, and Rudiger.
No, well, Conte being the holding mid to stay back because you're playing 2 flying wingers and both your other center mids have gone up. Yeah. You've got 3 people playing defense and they've been beaten on the counter every game this year. It's no wonder.
Against City, it was awful.
Yeah, it's no wonder. But I mean, and here I am, fucking 24 in Alabama, and I know that shit. And it's Lampard just shit the bed and especially with the players he has, there's no reason whatsoever for him to go down like that. And for Billy Gilmore, one of the better players to come through and be one of your creative midfielders, and even then he's a box to box. Kid's like 5'7" and he'll still tackle the shit out of you. Yeah, that's what you need in the midfield.
I do think though that it didn't help Frank that I think he had an idea of who he wanted to sign, and then Roman had a completely other idea, and then Roman got what he wanted in the end.
Yeah, but it's not like he went and bought a shit player. You have to
able to I agree.
Adapt and
I agree
to the players that you bought and you have.
There's also the
Havertz
aspect
is better
of
than a lot of the other players at the club.
There's also like Werner scores 5 of the 20 sitters that he misses, and we're having a completely different conversation saying that Frank Lampard is doing an all right job at Chelsea.
I don't.
It's the same thing with Ollie. If Martial scores that sitter that he just completely fucked up against PSG, United are in such a better spot right now than they have been. Yeah. And because of the one loss against Sheffield, everyone's freaking out saying Ollie out, but it's like Liverpool just lost to Burnley last week. And then I saw this guy's tweet. He picked out literally 10 losses, the only 10 losses under Ollie that United have had in the past year, and was like, this is why Ollie should be out. And it's like, you're just going to pick those 10 games and say that these were the most crucial games ever. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. To deny that United are in a better spot now than they were when Ollie first took over.
Or than they ever have been since Alex left.
Yeah, you're just trying to fuel a bias that's not there. Now, do I think that